Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Yep, I'm gonna say it again. I need a better intro. Actually don't have an intro. Even that, when you watch a YouTube video, that whole before you watch, there's a video clip with pictures and videos, and like it's so cool. And I don't have that. I haven't really tried because I'm just so scared of it. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not gonna be able to pull this off. But I'll try and do it. Yeah, but it's whatever, as long as you get the content right. That's what matters, the content, not the intro, not the quality, not the whatever, the background. Yeah, it's all about the quality of the content, because I've realized, like, I'll see like a YouTuber who uses like just the mere phone, and just like me, I use my phone, a phone to do everything, to shoot, to edit, to whatever, and they have like gang subscribers and views, and you can see even the quality is not that deep, it's just vibes. But like that person has a lot of, yeah, and I think it's because of the quality of the content. So basically, if you want to start a YouTube channel, don't be someone who's still gonna like, no, I need to buy an expensive camera, I need to buy an I'm not big at all, but I've seen with other YouTubers, they grow because of their content. That's what's important. So as you grow, you will upgrade and be that girl you want to be, eh? Yeah, so as you can see, or you've already seen by my thumbnail and the title of this video, I'm basically going to be sharing my story about how the whole experience of losing a parent as a child born out of wedlock. For those who don't know what that means, it's basically when one of your parents is married, not to your other parent, to someone else, and then they have a child outside of that marriage with your parent. So I am that child. Yeah, so yeah, life is not easy when you're that child, because there's a lot of things that you deal with. You're like the child that wasn't wanted, the child that brought a lot of hurt into someone else's family. You're the child that is like, you're not like a normal child that is welcomed and loved by everyone. And I'm talking on behalf of, like, if your mother is the one who, no, actually, if your father is the one that is married to someone else. Yeah, so it's difficult for the wife to actually accept you, because but it's rough, because it's not only her, it's the father's family, and it shocks me, because I'm like, the father's family shouldn't be like, because at the end of the day, I'm their blood, you know like you're related to the guy, not the wife. But it's fine, it's cool. So how do I go about this? I thought this would be easy for me, but now I can see I'm struggling. I don't even know where to start, because there's so many, let me just, I don't know if I'm allowed to actually talk about. Nah, I'm allowed. You know what? That man is my dad, so I can speak however I want to speak about him. Yeah, he's my father. So let me just explain how my dad lived. So basically, and I'm only seeing it now when I'm grown, my dad basically had like a dual life. I don't know if I can call it that, but he balanced his life, bro. Like, he balanced his life, and it shocks me till this day. Like, damn, how? So basically, growing up, I grew up in Tulamash, in Bushbuckridge, Mpumalanga. That's what the place was called. So I stayed there with my brother and my mom. My mom and my dad have 2 kids together. That's my brother and I. He's 2 years older than me. Yes, so we stayed there, and then my dad used to stay in Hoedspruit, but he worked in Tulamash, So yeah, I was in hostel. I started hostel when I was like in grade R. Yeah, in grade R, I was already in hostel. Grade R to, yeah, most of my primary life, I was already like a boarder. So, but a weekly, yeah. a weekly boarder. So I'd go home on weekends. On Fridays, my mom would fetch my brother and I from school, and then on Sundays, my dad would take us to school. So, but my dad had a child in his marriage, who unfortunately passed away when he was in grade 9. He was older than us, maybe like, I don't know, maybe like about 5 to 6 years older than us. Yeah, so I never got to meet him. Yeah, I never got to meet him until he passed on. I just knew that my dad, because my dad was open about that. Like, he would tell us that, yeah, this is my son. Because he'd come home, you know, when he's home, I'd look at his phone, and there are pictures of his son there, you know, so, which is my brother. I don't know how to deal with this, how to call who, what, yeah. So he used to tell us, yeah, that's my son, what, and we were cool, like, it's fine, sharp, we're kids, whatever, just give me your phone, I want to play games. Yeah. So my dad, like, would visit us. You know, I actually thought we lived with him when I was young, because, you know, I'd be home like Saturday and Sunday. Obviously it's Friday, then Sunday I'm going back. So sometimes, like, during school holidays, when he has to go to work in the evening, he'd come and visit us, and then after work, you know, come see us and whatnot. I'm like, oh, okay, my dad is here, and obviously we'd get excited and chill with us. And then he took us to sleep, you know, like, put us to bed, would sing lullabies together, listen to the radio. It was the radio back then. Listen to music, because, yeah, my whole family loves music. So, and basically he would, yeah, put us to sleep, then leave. So in my head, I'm thinking, nah, he's still awake watching TV or whatever, you know, he's gonna sleep later. Then I slept, and the next morning before work, he would come to my house and have breakfast before work. And then I'd wake up to him having breakfast, you know. So I'm thinking, okay, he woke up before me and he's having breakfast, now he's leaving for work. So I thought, like, we lived with him. Yo, you guys don't understand how like, when I actually puzzled this whole thing, not puzzled, like, put the pieces into place, I was like, wow. I felt like my life was a lie, but at the same time, I was like, as long as he did his job, that's all that matters at the end of the day, you know. So yeah, that was my dad, and it shocks me, how can a man, like, balance his life like that? So yeah, and then, like, with this video, I'm sure, like, his whole family, I don't really have a relationship with his family. I don't. He never really introduced us. I'm gonna talk about whatever I feel like talking about. I don't really care who gets offended here. I don't care who's gonna watch this. I don't care who's gonna, like, that is my life, and I'm talking about my life, you know. Yeah, so he never really introduced us to his family, you know, like, officially. And yeah, that never happened. But we would meet. He had a lot of siblings, so we would meet some of his siblings. Like, some would come and visit us at home, you know. Yeah, or maybe when he takes us out, because he would take us, my dad was very present, hey. He would take us out, and then maybe we meet his brothers there, and he'd introduce us properly, like, these are my kids, what, you know. And they all knew us. Like, his family is huge, and they all know about us. They know, when I say us, I'm talking about my brother and I. They know we exist, they know. But we were still like, I don't know if I should call it a secret, because it wasn't really, because everyone knew, but still everyone was scared to, like, you know, talk about it. Or yeah, because in his family, I think they, like, respected him. He was one of the older men, so he, you know, you don't just mingle in his business and shit, even though, you know, you just, yeah. But my dad was that guy, and he was also very present in his real family. Well, we are his whole family, but, like, his reality, we are like a side, we were like a side of his life, the way I'm seeing it now. Although he played a huge part in my life, he was like one of the biggest, I don't know what to call it, in my life. He also played a huge role in his whole family's house, and I mean, like, even for his brother's kids, like, you know, he had a relationship with all of them. And We all loved him, although we didn't have a relationship. I didn't know my cousins. Like, I didn't know my cousins from that side. We never went to family gatherings, and he used to host, like, on Christmas. On Christmas he used to host like parties for the family that side, and he would just on Christmas, and yeah, we never spent Christmas with him. He would just call us, wish us a Merry Christmas and whatnot, and yeah, that would be it. Yeah, but I only found this out like after his death, but I'll explain how. That's how I found out that he was actually like, so like, I'm like, you were planning Christmas things for, but it's fine. Let me not get emotional because I don't want to speak from a place of hurt. Although I am hurt, I don't want to speak from a place of hurt. I just want to share. I just want to vent, basically. So yeah, that's basically how my father juggled. Like, okay, when we were in primary, before his son passed on, he was in high school, right? And we were in primary. He was in Nelspruit at the high school that we went to, but he was there before we went there. So he was also in hostel. So remember I said on Sundays my dad would take us to school, and on Fridays my mom would pick us up. When you go to Nelspruit, you pass Hazyview. From Tulamash, you pass Hazyview and you get to Nelspruit. Instead of like picking his son up, then picking us up, driving to Hazyview, dropping us off, then driving to Nelspruit and dropping his other son off. My dad. First thing in the afternoon, he would transport I'm saying his son because if I say my brother, it's gonna get confusing because I also talk about like my brother, the one that my actual brother from my mom and dad. So I'll say his son when I'm talking about the other one, and I'll say my brother when I'm talking about my actual brother, so we don't get things confused. Yeah, so he would take his son to school first. Like, he would drive all the way to Nelspruit first, then come back to Tulamash, pick us up, then drive again to Hazyview to drop us off, then come back at night, just so we don't meet. Like, what was the reason for him to put himself? I don't know till this day. I'll never know. So my father passed away in 2018. Should be like 4 years ago. Yeah. Passed away in 2018, and the funeral, I'm sure you can already imagine, it was going down. Bruh, one of the darkest moments of my life. So my dad has been, like I said, he was a present father to me ever since. He was like a normal father to me. Like, I didn't know that he had a life besides us. I thought same way his family is probably like shook that he actually maintained a good relationship with his kids that are outside. Yeah, so he used to pay for everything, like our school fees, hostel fees, used to send us money. Yeah, they did like the co-parenting thing quite well. When I think about it, they worked really well. Like, besides their personal relationship, the co-parenting, I assume, no, they did it. Like, one would do this one is buying groceries, this one. Although my dad could have done more, now I'm thinking, my dad could have done more, but it's fine. He did what he had to do. He did all the basic things that I had to do, and he did even more because he created a relationship with us. It wasn't just the financial transactional thing. I got to know him, he got to know us. He always made sure he comes to see us, but as I grew older, that's when I realized, when I was like in 5th grade, 4th, that's when I said, oh, okay, no, this guy doesn't stay with us. Yeah, he's married. That's when I got to understand everything. Yeah, but basically in 2018, he passed away. I don't know, he was sick, but I'm not sure what really went down, but he was hospitalized for some time before he passed on. I never, when, like, I remember when he was still sick in hospital, I was talking to him on WhatsApp, and he was sending me an allowance every month. So that month he was late. He like, when you expect, when you get money every time on the 30th, for example, and then it's the 30th, 31st, first, second, still, he was there. So I'm like, hey, bro, what's up? Because I didn't want to like have that conversation. I knew he'd send, because he never like lets me down when it comes to that. So I'm like, hey, I called him. Then his voice, like I could tell, this man is not okay. And the sad thing is, I can't even visit him, because when his son died, he took us to this place, my brother and he literally told us everything. It's like, yeah, I have a wife. The wife is called this and this. We live together wherever. I had a son. I was planning on making you guys meet. It just like it happened so quick. Like he was. I think he was just disorientated at that moment because we were kids, and he just, I don't know. We didn't really understand what he was talking about. Like, we just want to eat. Can we just eat? We'll talk later. But yeah, at that place, he just said, yeah, he was just talking about all that, explaining that whole. But I wish we had that conversation when I was much older, because then I didn't understand. I was just like, whatever, as long as my mom and dad are here, that's cool. Yeah, so back to the allowance story. Yeah, he was sending other money, and that month he was late. So I was talking to him, and his voice was like, yeah, I could hear, this guy's not well. And he was saying, yeah, he's still waiting for someone to ask to go and deposit the money, So he's not like, he wasn't old school, but like, like those people, they still believe that you deposit money at the bank. And yeah, it was still that vibe. And it wasn't still like a thing of you can do it on the phone. So he's in hospital now, and remember, he can't just ask anyone. He can't ask his wife. He can't, the people. He's only dependent on the people that are visiting him, and it also depends who. So like, I understood at that moment. I'm like, okay, it's fine, until he got someone, and that person sent it. Yeah, so sorry, like, I just took my glasses off because I don't like glasses and camera. Like, the reflection is like so bad. So I can't see shit now. Like, I'm literally just seeing a face there on the screen and some white dude, but everything is blurry. You guys know I wear glasses or contact lenses, so I'm not wearing my contact lenses now because I was just reading something. So I'm wearing my glasses, but I took them off for this video but I don't need to see you guys, right? Like, it's a story time. As long as you can hear me, I don't need to see anything. As long as you guys can see me. Yeah, so that transaction thing, so like, that just made me ask myself, like, but why does he put himself through this? And also, like, the wife, like, we respected that lady after he told us everything, and he came clean. We were aware and we respected her, although we also never got to meet her. I've never met her till this day. Like, we wouldn't call my dad after 7. We wouldn't call my dad after 7, not because he said don't call me at night, or no, because we respected him. And like, my mom would tell us that he's with his wife, like, let's give them that space. So we had that, and we never we never wanted to force ourselves into his life or try to reach out to anyone in his family, or we were just like minding our own business because we didn't need that. I don't know if we needed it or not, but it's not like when you had something and you lost it, so now you know that you can actually have this. It was something I never got exposed to, so it was my normal life to not have a relationship with my father's side. I didn't care because I knew who my dad was, and that's all. Okay, fine. So back to his funeral. His funeral was probably like one of my worst experiences ever, because wow, my dad didn't fix his things when he was still alive, which confuses me till this day. I've never seen my father's will. I don't know if he had a will or not. I don't know anything. I was not involved in anything. I just feel like never mind inheriting anything but like at least I need to know if my dad had a will or not, just to know what he genuinely wanted, and I'm so confused. For the funeral, we were not included in everything. We were not even included in his obituary, guys. Johnny, like, I don't get it. We were not a secret. Everyone knew we existed, and that's what I don't get. We never got included in the obituary. Yeah, not obituary. Obituary, or however you pronounce that thing. Yeah, we're not included in the program. I think program is a better word for me. I'll use that. We're not included there. So when we got there, my mom didn't go. We went with my mom's sister. Yeah, she was there. Then got there, we slept at some place. And like I was seeing strangers everywhere. For me, I was seeing strangers. And on the day, I had written in, I don't attend a lot of funerals, but I've seen in the few that I've attended, there's a moment where they read the flowers, or something, where you just write a message for the deceased and you put it with flowers, and then I don't know where they take that thing. Maybe they throw it in his hole, the hole that they dig for his box. So yeah, I don't know how that works, but I had written it. I'd written a long ass message, and yeah, I wrapped it properly. And then yeah, my brother, I think the night before, I was chilling with the gin, so I also wrote one for him so he could have. My mom bought 2 flowers, so 2 bouquets, so I wrote one for myself and his, but his was short, just so you know. Okay, so we went. Like, I was seeing strangers everywhere. I was sitting with the community, guys. Like, I'm literally burying my parent, and like, I don't even know how to explain how I was feeling, but I was sitting with the community. There's the family side, the what side, and then there's everywhere else where anyone who maybe people want to eat food can just randomly come. People who didn't even know him, they just knew he existed, where they can sit. I was there, guys. That's where I was sitting, laying my father to rest, sitting in the community section. Fine. There was a time where they were like, yeah, the grandkids can come and sing. The grandkids of the Mnisis, meaning like the children of like my dad's generation, their kids. Yeah, that's the grandkids of my dad's parents. Yeah. So I saw people, they were even like wearing black, I think. Like, I can see, oh, this thing was planned. They had it all figured out. They did rehearsals. They came. They got there. They were all wearing matching outfits. They started singing songs, and I'm like, started singing songs and whatnot, and I'm out here crying. Like, I'm crying my eyes out, and people can see, because I'm the obvious one. In the community, you won't see someone like crying like that, because no one. And then everyone is obviously looking like, am I seeking for attention or what? And some can see, some know it exists, but they don't know who it is, because I don't look much like my dad. Maybe some features here and there, but my brother my brother was a problem, because he looks exactly like my dad. The day before we went to a memorial service, at his house. It was my first time going to his house, the one he has in Hoedspruit, where he lives with his wife. And they had like pictures up there of him, like his old pictures and whatnot. And like, I knew a lot of people. My brother's name is Randall. I'm just gonna say Randall from now on. A lot of people would tell me like, your father looks like Randall, like, they look alike. But I never saw it. I'm like, nah, they don't. But those pictures, I saw like he looked exactly like my brother when he was young, guys. Now I can admit I look like my mom, but he looked exactly like my brother when he was young. I was so shocked when I saw those pictures. Plus, he was skinny also. So I'm like, So now at the funeral, these people obviously knew my dad when he was still young, and now they're seeing my brother. So yeah, everyone was looking at him, like people are gossiping like on the side. You know how it is. Yeah, and so yeah, they started. Where was I? Yeah, I'm still at the funeral. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so basically at that funeral, everyone is just gossiping about us. Like, yeah, that's his child. That's her. That's him. Yeah, all that vibe. Yeah. And we were sitting there, not included in anything. We're just seeing things happen. And everyone would talk about, yeah, his name is Rodol, was. Yeah, my dad's name was Rodol. So everyone would talk about how, yeah, Daddy Rodol. And I'm shocked, like, wow, Daddy Rodwell. Whose dad is this, Kanti? Whose dad is this? Because we are not even saying, you guys see him as a father figure. I get it. But why are you excluding us? That's one thing that bothered me. His wife, fine. I get it. You're bitter and all that. Whatever. That's your business. But his family, like the brothers, like we know each other. What's this now? Nobody stood up for us. Nobody stood up for us. Yeah, I just saw everything happen. I was crying there. They were handing out water, bottles of water. This lady was handing out bottles of water, and she skipped me, guys. She skipped me at my dad's funeral. She skipped me. I don't think it's because she knew me, but like it's just that thing of maybe this is a child. Let me give water to the adults first. But like I needed the water. I was like, you could see, but it's fine. Whatever. And then yeah, there's a time where they read those, that comes a time where they read the flowers, right? So they didn't read. So my mom's sister, my aunt, the one we're with, she went to the program director and she's like, hey, here are some flowers that you need to read. And the flowers weren't read. Apparently the wife was like, no flowers are being read here. We're gonna read them at the cemetery where we're gonna bury him. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, you do you, boo. Sharp, I left it at that. But it was still hurt because I spoke a lot of things. Like I wrote a lot of deep things in there, and I wanted everyone to hear me out. But yeah, I was sidelined. Fine. And now it's time to go to the cemetery, and then I see cars like those big cars, H1s or Viennas or whatever. It's for Vienna. Whatever those cars are, the big ones. They came and they parked there, and then they're like, yeah, Ikombela, we're asking for the family to come inside these cars. We're asking for the families to get it. Yo, guys, like, I'm thinking all these things in my language and my English is so far away. But yeah, the cars parked there, and then they're like, the family should go into the cars. They'll be driven to the cemetery. And those, yeah, guys, I saw strangers get into those cars. That time it's family. I saw strangers going to the cars, people getting in there, and I'm like, who are all these people? Okay, they got in there. That's when like it clicked that my father lived a full functional life without me, and that's a bit difficult to understand because he was also fully present in my life. So how is that possible? How come I didn't know? There was a lot that was going through my mind, and maybe I was ignorant when he was still alive, because I could have asked him about this, but I just, I had him, so I didn't feel like I had to ask. It was unnecessary for me because, yeah. But now I'm seeing that that was necessary. I should have started that conversation, but it's fine. Yeah, so the family got in those cars and they all left. So I walked. It's fine. I didn't walk, man. I was walking to the other side, not to the cemetery. I walked, and then some guys were like, how are you getting to the funeral? And I'm like, I don't even know. I didn't understand what was going on around me. And then they just took me and we all went there to the not the funeral, the cemetery. So when we got there, yeah, and the box was going down, they called the family out again to take sand and do that thing where they put sand, where they pour sand in the hole on top of the casket. Guys, I don't know the terms for this. My English is far away because you know when something is emotional, everything is just in your home language, and I'm trying my best to speak English so everyone can understand. So mind my English. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Like, forgive me, but expect the worst. Yeah, so we got there, and yeah, they were pouring the sand into the hole and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, it's time to read the thingy now. We're here. Let's read what I wrote. So one of my cousins, she's my cousin. She went and she asked. I think she asked the wife. I never saw the wife. I never got to see her the whole day. So she asked her, and then apparently the wife was like, no. Not on my watch. She was like, nope, not on my watch, girl. So yeah, they didn't read. They just basically threw everything in there. Then they covered everything with sand. I lost it. I just broke down and I left. I went to the gate. I started crying at the gate. And then this guy comes to me. He's like, why are you, who's this child? Why are you crying here? Why are you like causing a scene here? I remember who that guy is. So he knew I existed, but he didn't know it was me. He didn't know that this is Rachel. So I told him whose child I am, but I obviously mentioned my mom, not my dad, because... And he knows my mom. They all know my mom. They know her. They know us. And then after I told him, then he's like, oh, okay, no, get inside the car, calm down, just take it easy. He started being a different person. Such a pretender. Then we drove, we went back. Now it's time to eat. And when we're eating, now people are coming, talking to us. How are you? Oh yeah, your eyes looks like his eyes. Yeah. So they're trying to get to know us, and like, those people were like getting on my nerves. Like, I honestly, I don't want to use the word hate, but I personally feel like the Mnisi family did me dirty. They didn't protect me at all, and I felt like they could have at least protected. The program, it looked like like a wedding thing, because it was full of pictures of my dad and his wife. It was full of pictures of my dad and his wife. It wasn't like it's only about this man. The cover page, the As You Page, is pictures of their wedding day. Bear in mind, they got married like 30 years ago, something. It's pictures of their wedding date. It's not, and they only spoke about the son that he lost. They're not speaking about, like, I felt like the low-key disrespecting him, because it's like basically is trying to say that this person didn't leave anything, because they were just like, he is survived by his wife and 6 siblings. Fine, so he doesn't have any children. Like, my issue is, once I make it and put their surname up there, now they want to come and claim like this is my brother's child, or like, yeah, this is Mnisi, Mara, when things are tough, I'm not one of them. Nah, I personally feel like they could have protected me, because I know my dad helped them out. Like, he would help them out with so many things. That's why they respected him so much. They were even probably scared to ask him about the situation that he's in. So now I'm like, you can see now that my dad is no longer there. Why don't you protect his own? Like, why don't you protect the things that he used to protect? And I understood why, like, I couldn't, nobody protected them, because the only person who was protecting me from this whole thing was my dad. And I'm only seeing it now after, oh my gosh, why am I getting emotional? I told myself I wouldn't, because yeah, I'm only seeing it now that like he was just protecting us. And when at the funeral, the reason why we weren't protected is because the person is the one that was in the casket. That's the person who was supposed to protect us. Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. I'm not gonna cry on camera. Yeah, so that's how I buried my father. I wasn't recognized as one of them. I wasn't recognized as a Mnisi. I was just part of the community. Fine. I really don't like those people. If I know that your parent helped me, your parent helped me. When I can, I will also try my best. When your parent is not around, I'll try my best to help you, because I know that your parent would do the same for me or my kids. But it's fine. Nobody cared. Yeah, so we went back and people were trying to talk to us, and not people were coming to introduce themselves. Yeah, my name is this, I'm your cousin. Yeah. My name is whoever, I'm this one's child, this is how we're related, this and this. Fine. Like, why would they make it seem like my dad didn't leave anything here on earth? They made it seem like he doesn't have kids, like his whole it doesn't have a legacy, like no one is, like they made it seem like it's the end. And he still has children. Why are you making it seem like, and I don't understand why they spoke about the child that he had. They spoke about a child that is not alive, and they didn't speak about the children that are still alive. Why do him like that? I mean, like, and the wife is the one who planned everything. I don't get it. Like, you're supposed to be mourning. How do you have the strength to plan everything, to make decisions, to say no, this mustn't happen, this must how? You should be just sitting there in your mattress mourning your husband. Like, let the brothers do everything. But yeah, my one uncle, his other younger brother, he did say something, although he said it like, he said, yeah, he was talking about his children. He was talking about how men are, and then he's like, yeah, my children also, if you find out that you have siblings, don't get angry at them, accept them like they're your siblings. Those are my kids. But that's all he said, and he, like, that's indirect. Why don't you say that actually my brother has children? Like, why like, why are they also afraid of, like, what are they scared of? That's my problem. It's fine. Sharp. And then then basically we went home and I just slept. I was crying the whole day, so I was just tired of being, and you've been like, yes. I just got home and I took a bath and I slept. Yeah, but I was asking my mom why, because before she was like, not before the funeral, I asked her, she said she's not going. And I was like, well, I didn't understand. I'm like, but my dad would come to your funeral, why aren't you going? And she didn't know, and I didn't understand. Like, I was so hurt that why would my mom not want to come to my dad's funeral? But after that, I saw that it was better she stayed. Like, she made a good decision. The drama that was gonna happen there, because she'd also feel disrespected. Like, why are my kids being, but yeah. So what I don't understand is, like, I'm now 22 years old. When my dad passed away, I was 18. So my question is, so the wife has had this grudge for 18 years. All along, she hasn't let it go. Like, how has she been surviving with my dad the whole time when she still has that grudge? How is that possible? Like, and I need to breathe a bit. And it's not like she didn't know us all along. She knew. When my mom had my brother first, it was a big deal. Yeah. Then they managed to sort it out. But when I came along, that's when real problems started happening. Like, same mistake twice. How is this a mistake? If it's the second time, what not? She took my mom to the police. She was friends when I was still staying in Tulamash. She was friends with one of my neighbors there. And this one child came and threw spice in my eyes. Imagine, I was still a child. Like, yeah, but I don't understand why she, you know. Mara, it's okay. So yeah, back to the will. I don't know if he had a will. I don't know anything. I had to like, yo, it's as if this person, I'm supposed to forget, like I'm supposed to pretend as if this person never existed in my life, yet he played such a huge role in my life. Yo, no, she did me dirty. He did me dirty. His family did me dirty because they were supposed to protect me. I'm one of them. Do you understand? I'm literally one of them. Why were they treating me like I'm not? Why are they acting like I'm not? Some of them still tried to reach out, but mostly the people who reached out after my dad's passing, it was my cousins, the younger ones mostly, but the older generation, no one has ever called me or anything. Okay, fine. So after someone dies, there comes a time where they have to, like I was saying, after someone dies, after some time they come and they hand out the clothes or something like that. Yeah, and then at a later stage there's like an unveiling. So when the time came for dishing out my dad's clothes, I didn't know about that. No one called me, no one invited me, nothing. I don't even have a sock that belongs to my father. Like, I have nothing that can remind me of him. Yeah, so they were just handing those things out to I don't know who. And then when the unveiling came, they did an unveiling. I think it was an unveiling or something, but it wasn't for him only. It was also for like the other Mnisi people there. So all the Mnisis were done at the same time. So that's when his brother decided to call me and invite me. I'm like, what? You're inviting me for something that involves other people only. But when it was about the only person I know, you didn't think of inviting me then. Why are you inviting me now? I don't know these other people. I only knew him. And yeah, no, I lost it. I told him and I'm like, I'm not coming, but thanks for your invite. And there was one time where I attended a funeral where my mom's side and my dad's family were there. Yeah, there's someone from my mom's side is married to someone from my dad's side. I don't know who, but there's someone who's connecting them because of marriage. Yeah, but it's not blood related. But one person also married that. So yeah, and I went there when my mom took me there that day, and we got there the night before. So the men were sitting there, as a group talking. So when we got there and my father saw me, guys, he was so happy to see me. He literally pulled me from my mom and I was sitting on his lap and he introduced me to those guys some knew me, some didn't. And it's like, yeah, this is my daughter Rachel. And some of the brothers who knew me were shocked that he actually did that. Like, did he just, and some were just like, what? You have a child? And yeah, but maybe they knew, but yeah, the reaction was just shocking because they didn't even know what to say. But yeah, now he was like, where's Randall and whatnot? Because my mom never used to take us to funerals, but that day she went with me. I wanted to go with her. And then yeah. Then Vela, I chilled with them. He's like, no, sis, go bring us water. Let's wash our hands so we can eat and whatnot. So yeah, he was very happy. Like every time I was around him, he was happy to see me. You know, there was never a moment where I felt like my dad is embarrassed of me or no, I never got that. Okay. So yeah, when the unveiling thing, I didn't like, I've never been to my dad's grave. I don't know where it is. I could find out, but I don't think I'm ready at the moment. Yeah, and what puzzles me now is that why didn't my dad leave a will? He was taking care of us. What must happen to us now? And he knows the situation. That's my issue. Why didn't he sort it out? Like now I'm like, did what happened? Like I really need answers, but I don't know how. I don't know how to know, like how to find out if a person has a will. And like I genuinely just want to know what he wanted. It's not about getting anything, but like I want to know what he wanted. But it's fine. And then yeah, but his wife bought a Range Rover after his passing. Like I know they're married in community of property, but that means like everything that is his is hers, basically. So we are also his. So we are also her kids. So she's actually supposed to be taking care of us because we were depending on my dad, and there are records that he's been sending us money since we were born. Bank statements, receipts from school, everything. Like in primary, we had this thing called a communication book where they just paste the receipt each time you pay for anything, whether it's a trip, school fees, hostel fees, whatever. So I still have those books from primary, each and every grade. My brother still has till varsity, till he passed on in 2018. I have that he's been sending money to. So I feel like that's proof. If I wanted to go about it like with the law, I think they can allow me to see his will. I don't know how it works. I think they can allow me because that's proof that I'm a dependent, like, you know. But yeah, so apparently I think on records he doesn't have children. I don't know how it happened, but at first when we were born, we're using my mom's surname, and he got angry about it, and he took my mom's home affairs, and they went to change our surnames into his. So I don't know. I'm carrying his surname, but it's treated as if it's fine, guys. But yeah, that's basically like my whole experience of losing a parent as someone who's born out of wedlock. It's different from when like you lose a parent and you're recognized, you're taken care of, everyone is there for you, everyone knows that you are probably the one that's going through shit. But I didn't get any of that. It was just treated as like, yeah, yeah. I think I've healed from all that. I think I've healed, but there are times where like I think about it, talk about it, and I start breaking down, and I'm like, have I really healed or not? But in my opinion, I have because the episodes are not as intense as they were. Because after his funeral, I was here in Pretoria. I came back to Pretoria. I was losing it. I texted my other cousin who had reached out to me, and I'm like, hey, please send me his wife's number. I want to talk to her. She's like, alright, she got the number. I got it. I called. I'm like, hello. She's like, hello. I'm like, how are you? She's like, I'm fine. How are you? I'm like, you're talking to Rachel. She keeps quiet. She's like, who? I'm like, you're talking to Rachel. Do you know me? She's like, no. She's like, hold on a bit. Her energy was fine at first. Like, it was like, hello. But as soon as I mentioned my name, she's like, hold on a bit. And then I think she went to call someone, like, come listen with me or something like that. Then I held on. And then she came back. She's like, yeah, what are you saying? Like, in a very rude way. It's no longer the same. And she's like, yeah, what are you saying again? I hung up. I called my mom. I'm like, bro, I just called her. She's like, dude, like, what are you doing? Just come home. Like, come home. You're not. Yeah. So I was just, yeah. Just come home because you're going to cause drama. And I literally had to go home the next day. I went home. And then, yeah, one of my cousins, another one is like, hey, I heard you called her. So it was a thing in the Mnisi family. They were talking about it. And then my mom, yeah, then I got home. The same day I got home, I got a call. I'm like, hello. Hi, sister, how are you? I'm like, I'm good, how are you? She's like, yeah, you're talking to, she mentioned her name. And she's my cousin, but an older one. She's like, her mother is my dad's sister. And then she's like, hello. I'm like, hi. And then she's like, I heard you called the wife. I'm not going to mention names. I heard you called the wife. What. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I'm fonela ilirngein. That's like deep tongue, bro. I don't speak like that. She's trying to say, like, so you were calling her in what terms? Like, why are you calling her? In a way, like, you don't need to be calling her. Why are you calling her? And my mom heard, because I was with my mom. And my mom heard that. And she knew, this language, I know the type of people. Rachel doesn't associate with people who speak like, it's like an older version in depth. So I don't know deep Tonga, basically. So she took the phone. Oh, she lost it. And the same person who was calling is someone who used to visit us. Now she's acting like she doesn't know us. She used to visit us with my dad. She used to visit, even if my dad is not there. When my mom was graduating at Porch, we all went. My dad, my brothers, and my mom, we went. She was also there. There's even a video that I watched on my brother, my older brother. So he was recording the whole thing. So I was watching the videos, I think last year even. She is there. And I'm like, I'm thinking, like, why was she acting like she doesn't know us, yet she had a relationship with my mom and us and everyone. She wants to play for both teams. Okay, it's fine. And then now she was like, yeah, why am I calling? Oh, my mom lost it. And she started like shouting. And so she's like, so you're trying to depress my child? Like, imagine if I was alone at school and that call came in, like, they would all attack me, because it was a group of people, because she forgot to hang up after the call. And we were listening, and it's people talking, discussing, oh, where's she from there? Like, I think she stays in Tulamash. They're discussing us, like, where's my mom from? What? So I'm like, so I just left it at that. I'm like, coolio, let me just move on with my life. That's why the following year, 2019, there was no way I could be in Pretoria again alone. It was too fast. I needed my mom. I'm going through a lot, so there was no way I would cope. So that's why I had to be home in 2019. And that's when I went to upgrade my marks, because I was home. Like, what's the plan? So I upgraded my marks, and then now I'm here. But yeah, that's basically it. There's nothing nice in that story, Jay, from the day my dad left this world. It's been going down. But yeah, I feel his presence now a lot, guys. I feel my dad's presence, which is crazy. Like, when I'm going through shit, I'll pray, and then I'll think to myself, like, I'll also say, like, I know you're listening to me. Do it for me. And then it happens. Like, that's crazy, bro. And then it happens. Like, sometimes I talk to him, I'm like, no, like, a lot of things just happen in my life now. Like, I don't know how to explain this, but my life has changed since my father's passing, my whole life, my whole perspective of life, my mentality, everything about me changed since that day. Like, yeah. I actually hope this video goes to like the right people. You know, like, I actually want to raise awareness. I don't know how, but in the future I want to raise awareness, because kids that are born out of wedlock are not treated like normal children, you know. And it doesn't make sense, because those kids didn't ask to be born. Kids are innocent, they didn't ask to be born. They just got here, and all they know is mom and dad. Same way even kids that were born from a proper well-functioning family know mom and dad. It's the same with them. Even if my dad is married to this one and my mom is married and divorced and this and this, and that's still my mother and that's still my father, and that won't change. And I feel like families need to start. You can hate on the woman or the man that you know, but you cannot hate on the child. The child is just an innocent child. Like, why? And I've seen with a lot of people, like, that those kids are always put aside, you know, like they're always seen as kids that are not, I don't know how to put it, but they're not like the rightful ones type of vibe. But who decides on that when the DNA has already decided? Like, who are you to actually tell me that I'm less of a child to this one? Like, even if the parent has favoritism, we still have the same amount of shares there. Like, I'm talking in terms of like DNA. But yeah, I hope people stop the stigma against kids that were born that way, because I wasn't even there. Like, so yeah, that's basically my story. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, do what you must. Bye.